A very good morning to all. A very good morning to all. This is P. Kavita, Assistant Professor, Triple Department from RMD Engineering College. I handle power plant engineering for second year Triple. Now we will see the layout of a nuclear power plant. So in case of a nuclear power plant, the main component is a nuclear reactor, which comprises of fuel, moderator, reflector, coolant, control rod, shielding, and reactor vessel. So this is a nuclear reactor. So in case of a nuclear reactor, we have the shielding, a protective shield, which will keep the radiations without being exhibited into the atmosphere. And this is the nuclear reactor where the nuclear fission process takes place. And these black colored rod-like structures are called as the fuel rods along with the moderators and reflectors. So then what is happening in nuclear power plant is initially cold water has been taken and it is pumped in order to increase the pressure of water, and it is running inside the reactor. So when water is allowed inside the reactor, what happens is during the fission process, when the neutrons are hitting on a heavy nucleus of uranium, which splits into two light nuclei producing 3 neutrons and enormous amount of heat energy. So that heat energy has been utilized to convert water into steam. So this cold water which is running inside the reactors will come out as very hot water, and in this hot water will flow through a heat exchanger which will transfer all the heat energy into the water in the other medium. So over here we have water which is getting converted from water into steam in the heat exchanger, and that steam is entering into the turbine which will rotate the turbine blades coupled to a generator to produce electricity, and the exhaust steam from the turbine will again be condensed and it will be pumped into the nuclear reactor again. So this process keeps on continuing. So we have this is also a diagram of a nuclear power plant. So we can see water has been pumped into the reactor. It picks up all the heat energy in the fission process and it gets into the steam generator or heat exchanger. So over here in the steam generator, water, which is the working fluid, is converted into superheated steam. It goes into the turbine, rotates the turbine blades coupled to generator which will produce electricity, and the exhaust steam has been collected, it is condensed, and this water is circulated. So the first important component in the nuclear reactor is the fuel. So usually the fuels used are uranium-235, plutonium-239 and uranium-233. So these are all fissile components. So it all goes through nuclear fission process very easily, and fission process, as we know, it occurs when one neutron is hitting on a heavy nucleus. It splits into 2 light nuclei. So and it also produces 3 neutrons, and those neutrons will again go through a fission process. It will hit on another uranium atom, and the process keeps on continuing as a chain reaction. And the fuel elements are made of plates of rods of uranium metal, and these rods or plates are surrounded by thin sheets of stainless steel, zirconium or aluminium. So usually we have those uranium pellets or the fuel pellets which has been placed inside the which is placed in a rod-like structure, and it is covered by a thin sheet of zirconium, aluminium or stainless steel in order to get a proper structural support and to maintain its radioactive nature and to also be resistive against corrosion. And all these fuel rods are placed inside the fuel structure. And then we have the moderator. The main purpose of moderator is to reduce the kinetic energy of the neutrons. So we know that when during the fission process, 3 neutrons are generated, and those neutrons will have a very high amount of energy in the order of 1 mega electron volt. So moderators are used to reduce the amount of kinetic energy of the neutrons, because to create a fission process, 0.25 electron volt of energy is sufficient enough. So this high energy of the high kinetic energy of neutrons are slowed down to 0.25 electron volt using moderators. So moderator is a material which will reduce the kinetic energy of fast neutrons to slow neutrons, and this is just done in a fraction of a second. So the slow moving neutrons will maintain the chain reaction, because the neutrons, when they are generated, it has very high amount of energy, and using moderators we reduce the kinetic energy of neutrons. So once the kinetic energy of the neutrons are reduced, it has the potential to go through a fission process or carry forward the chain reaction. So usually moderators are very light elements like nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, beryllium and so on. And the properties are it must slow down the neutrons, and mainly it should not absorb any neutrons. It has to be corrosive resistant and chemically and radiation stable. Chemically stable and radiation stable. because the moderator's work is only to reduce the kinetic energy, or it has to only slow down the fast moving neutrons, and it should not absorb any neutrons which is available for chain reaction. Next important component is the reflectors. So we know that inside the nuclear reactor during the fission process, we know that the neutrons keep on moving at a very high energy rate. So in order to reduce the energy to reduce the speed of the neutrons, we have moderators. For example, when the neutrons are hitting onto the sides of the, or at the when it is hitting at the boundaries of the fuel rods, there are more chances for the neutrons to escape from the fuel rods, which will lead to loss of neutrons available for the fission reaction. So we make use of something called as reflectors, which will reflect back the neutrons into the reactor itself or into the fuel rods itself, so that the neutrons will not escape. Even if the neutron is having a very high energy, and if it is hitting on the fuel rod, it will be reflected back into the fuel rods. So reflectors are used to only reflect the free neutrons, and it will also not absorb any neutrons. So reflectors are usually placed around the core to reflect back some of the neutrons that leak out from the surface of the core, and it is necessary to conserve the neutrons to reduce the consumption of fission material and to keep the size of the reactor small. Because in case of small reactors, more number of neutrons are required, which will cause the nuclear fission process by bombarding on a heavy nucleus. So in order to maintain the available number of neutrons, we require reflectors which will make sure that the neutrons are not escaping from the surface of the fuel rods or surface of the core. And just like the moderators, the reflectors also should not absorb any neutrons. It should only reflect the neutrons. It should be highly resistive to oxidation and radiation stable. Because in the nuclear fission process, enormous amount of hazardous radiations are generated. So mainly the reflectors, moderators and all the materials used for the nuclear reactor should be very radiation stable, because it is going to go through a lot of radiations. Next one is the coolant. So in the fission process, enormous amount of heat energy is also generated. So in the reactor, always it is very important that we maintain the pressure and temperature within permissible limits. So in the fission process, since it is a continuous chain reaction, there are more chances for enormous amount of heat energy to be generated. In order to maintain the temperature, we make use of coolants. So coolants will make sure that the temperature is always maintained within the permissible limits. So the main purpose of coolant is to remove or transfer heat production inside the reactor of the turbine, which is used further for power generation, because this heat energy inside the nuclear reactor has been utilized to heat up the water to superheated steam. So this is the heat energy that is utilized. The desirable properties of coolant is, again, the coolant should not absorb any neutrons. It should be chemically stable, radiation stable. It should be non-corrosive, have a very high boiling point and low melting point, high specific heat and density. It should be non-oxidizing and non-toxic mainly. So these are all the qualities which are essential for a coolant. It should only maintain the temperature of the reactor within permissible limits, whereas the heat energy generated by fission process has been utilized to convert water into superheated steam, and that steam will drive the turbines, which is coupled to a generator to produce electricity. Next one is the control rods. So we know from a single nuclear fission process, 3 neutrons are generated. And amongst the 3 neutrons, if all the neutrons are going through further fission process again 3, totally 9 neutrons will be generated. So if the chain reaction keeps on increasing continuously, the number of available neutrons will also increase. So more enormous number of fission processes will take place, and so there are more chances for the reactor to go through a massive atomic explosion. So in order to avoid those mishappenings, we make use of control rods, whose where the main purpose is to absorb the free neutrons to control the chain reaction. So the control rods are the structures which is pushed inside the reactors for mainly to absorb the free neutrons. So in a chain reaction, when 3 neutrons are generated, depending upon the requirement of heat energy required, the number of fission processes will take place. So we can control the fission process by use of control rods, which will absorb the free neutrons. So once the control rods are pushed into the nuclear reactors, it will absorb all the free neutrons and then it will be pulled up, allowing the fission process to take place as a chain reaction. So if for example, there are 3 neutrons generated in a chain reaction, only one neutron will be allowed to go through further fission process, whereas the 2 remaining neutrons will be absorbed by the control rods. So the control rods also again should not absorb any neutrons, and it will actually control the chain reaction only by absorbing the neutrons. I'm sorry, control rods are meant to absorb the neutrons, and in case of any emergency situations, the control rods will be completely pushed into the nuclear reactors so that all the free neutrons will be absorbed and no more fission process will take place, so that the chain reaction immediately comes to an end. And the control rod is necessary to prevent the melting of fuel rods, disintegration of coolant, destruction of reactor, as the amount of energy released is enormous. And the control rods are also used for the purpose of maintaining the pressure and temperature inside the reactor, because fission process also generates enormous amount of heat energy. And the chain reaction can be controlled by removing the fuel rods or the neutron continuing the chain reaction from the core, and neutrons are generally removed by inserting the control rods into the fuel rods. And the main materials used as control rods are cadmium, boron and hafnium. Next one is the shielding. To prevent the effects of radiation from the nuclear reactor onto human life, it is necessary to absorb them before emitting into the atmosphere. And shielding is necessary to protect the walls of the reactor vessel from radiation damage and to protect the operating personnel from exposure to radiation. So proper shielding has been done for the nuclear reactors so that the radiations which are generated during the nuclear fission process doesn't affect the technical professionals who are working in the nuclear power plant or to the residential people who are residing around the nuclear power plants. So the proper shielding has been done, which will arrest all the radiations and no radiations will escape into the atmosphere. And the common radiations from the reactors are alpha rays, beta rays and gamma rays, also along with fast neutrons. The first shielding is known as the thermal shielding, which is made of a steel lining of 50 to 60 centimeters of thickness, and it is further thickened by few meters of concrete. And a heavy material like lead will be more effective per unit weight than light materials like carbon, and usually materials for shielding are lead, carbon, concrete, steel and carbon. Next is the reactor vessel, where the reactor vessel encloses the reactor core, reflector and shield. It provides entrance and exit passage for the flow of coolant, and it can withstand pressure as high as 20 bar or above. There are holes provided to insert the control rods. And the reactor core, which consists of fuel and moderation assembly, is generally placed at the bottom of the vessel. So the reactor vessel is a container inside which we have the reactor components, which are the fuel rods, control rods, moderators, reflectors, and it has the passage for the control rods to be pushed in and pulled out of the reactors, and it has a passage for coolant which will actually maintain the temperature of the reactor. And the advantages of nuclear power plant, it can be easily adopted where water and sources are available. Okay, it requires water, but it does not require any fuel like coal. And the nuclear power plant requires very small quantity of fuel. So compared to the amount of coal that is required to produce the same amount of electricity, the amount of fuel required for nuclear power plant is very less to produce the same amount of electric power. And the space requirement is less compared to other power plants of equal capacity, and it is not affected by any changes in weather, and the fuel storage is not required. Also, nuclear power plants will convert the fossil fuels for other energy needs, and the number of workmen required for nuclear power plant is less, and it does not require large quantity of water, because only water is required for converting water into steam, which will drive the turbine generator set. So but the amount of water required in case of steam power plant is going to be very high. And the disadvantages of nuclear power plant is disposal of the radioactive waste, which has to be done very carefully, following all the precautions and the protocols. And it is not suitable for varying load conditions, and it requires well-trained personnel who has good knowledge in nuclear power plant and basics of nuclear engineering, and it requires high initial cost compared to nuclear and thermal power plant, mainly for the protection that is required for the reactors in order to arrest the radiations. Thank you.